Hello guys, how are we all doing? Welcome back to yet another video. Today we are back with the updated table predictions, and it's the last one today. We are doing the National League, the 5th league in the English pyramid. This is a really fascinating league. It's the first level below the Football League, and you've got some big Football League names in there. You've got some small teams that have come out of nowhere, and they're all trying to fight their way for promotion and survival. It's a really fascinating league, so let's talk about it today. Just before we get into today's video, guys, if you haven't already, make sure you've dropped a like on this one, subscribed if you are new around here, and let's start at the bottom and work our way up. So obviously, for those of you guys that don't know, there is only 23 teams in the division this year. So let's start with 23rd, 22nd and 21st. The three teams I've gone for to get relegated. I've gone for Dover Athletic, Kings Lynn and Aldershot. Now, if there's one team I can guarantee you will finish in one place, it's Dover Athletic finishing bottom for me. Now, that's no disrespect to the Dover fans. I do really feel for them because what they're going through at the moment is horrible. The writing is on the wall. They will get relegated this season. They started on minus 12 points and 13 games into this season, they still haven't won. They've picked up 3 draws and 10 defeats, leaving them on minus 9. They'd have to go on a very, very crazy run. They'd have to go on promotion form to try and stay up now, and that's not going to happen at Dover Athletic. It is a really sad state of affairs for the Dover fans, but I do think in time they will bounce back strong, but they're finishing bottom for me. Second from bottom, I'm going for Kings Lynn, who've only picked up 8 points in 13 games. Not looking good for them as well, and they've only scored 11 goals, which is less than a goal per game, which is very worrying for Kings Lynn. At the moment, there is 3 teams cut adrift, which is my current bottom 3. Once again, I do feel for the Kings Lynn fans, but I think the writing's on the wall for them to go down as well. And just above them, I've gone for Aldershot, who are picking up 1 point every 2 games, which is definitely relegation form. To be honest, Aldershot and Kings Lynn could finish either way around, but I think they're both going down with Dover Athletic this season. It's very sad for all 3 of them. Staying up this season, I have gone for Wealdstone, Barnet, Southend United and Weymouth. Starting with Wealdstone, who did finish 19th last year. They conceded 99 goals last season, which is crazy. The most goals conceded last year. It's just a mental amount of goals to concede, but I think they will be fine this year. I look at the relegation battle and I think those 3 are going to be cut adrift quite early unless they can do something special. So I think by that logic, Wealdstone will stay up, but it might not be a pretty season for them. In 19th place, I have gone for Barnet, which is quite an underwhelming season. Let's not forget they were in League 2 a few years ago. Their current form isn't actually that bad. They've actually won 3 of their last 4, but I look at how many goals they've conceded. They've conceded the most other than the bottom 2. So I look at Barnet and think over the season, it's not going to be a great one unless they can keep up this good form that they're currently riding. I think they're going to finish down near the bottom. In 18th place, I've gone for Southend United, currently in 20th, but I think they will slightly improve. It's very disappointing for their fans, though, because you think when they got relegated from League 1, they looked really, really bad. They obviously got relegated from League 2. They were a few points off staying up, but still weren't great over the course of the season. And they've just carried on that trend, and they look like they're going to be down the bottom end of this division. I do think they will climb up a couple of places, and it'd be nice for the Southend fans to see a few more wins over the course of the season. If they could finish mid-table, then that would be pretty good, but I'm saying 18th for Southend United. In 17th place, I've gone for Weymouth. I think they finished 17th last year. They're looking very solid to stay up this year. I have seen them play this year. Obviously, I went to Solihull 3, Weymouth 4, and I was really impressed. The finishing on display from Weymouth was fantastic on that day, and I think over the course of the season, they're going to pick up quite a few wins, and 17th again isn't a bad finish for Weymouth. As we move towards mid-table, I've gone for Maidenhead, Eastleigh, Yeovil and Woking. Let's start with Maidenhead, who are currently 18th. They've lost 7 in 13, which is more than a defeat every 2 games, which is really worrying. They did finish mid-table last year, so I think over the course of the season, Maidenhead should climb a little bit, but once again, it's a little bit disappointing the start that they've had so far. In 15th, I have gone for Eastleigh, a team that I'm really not sure about because they're quite inconsistent. So if they have a bad run, they're obviously going to fall down the table, put a good run together, and they're challenging for the playoffs. So I'll put them into the middle of the table. If there's any Eastleigh fans watching, what do you reckon this season? In 14th, I've gone for Yeovil, who are currently 15th, and last season they finished 16th. So they're just in that bubble, just below mid-table, and you just look at them and think, that size of club, if they could just put a couple of wins together and they can start challenging towards the playoffs, it'd be great to see Yeovil bounce back to the Football League. You think of what they achieved a few years ago when they got to the Championship, and now they're in the National League. It's just crazy for Yeovil Town. In 13th, I've gone for Woking, and if you look at the league table, it's very black and white for Woking. No draws, 6 wins, 7 defeats. So if you look at that, you think they're probably going to finish mid-table. If they can pile a few more wins in there, then they're starting to push towards the top half. Obviously, a few more defeats and they're starting to fall away, but no draws is quite fascinating after 13 games. I look at Woking and think, they're not a bad team, so I'm going to put them in the middle of the table. Just inside the top half, I've gone for Altrincham, Dagenham and Redbridge, Torquay and Solihull Moors. Altrincham are currently 11th, which is really, really good for them, but their current form is 3 defeats in a row, so I wonder if they're slightly falling away. It'd be a good season if they could just finish in the top half, so that's what I'm going for Altrincham. Dagenham and Redbridge, I've gone for for 11th. They finished 12th last year, and I think they're looking better this year than they did last year. They're currently the top scorers in the division, but they are letting in a few goals at the same time. But I think Dagenham and Redbridge are a team that could battle for the playoffs. It'd be interesting to see if they could get in there this season. Just inside my top 10, I have gone for Torquay United, who are currently 16th, and you think they finished second last year. I wonder if there's been a little bit of a hangover. Obviously, it was really frustrating the way they didn't get promoted last year. They finished second, so close to finishing top, obviously, and in the playoff final, all that drama. The keeper scores a header, and then they're doing really well in the shootout, and they still didn't get promoted. You can't actually get any closer than that without actually getting promoted. So really frustrating for Torquay United, and like I say, maybe a little bit of a hangover so far this season. Obviously, over the summer, a couple of players came and went, so it's a slightly different team, but I still look at that team and think they should be good enough to start putting some form together, and if they could challenge for the playoffs come the end of the season, then that would be very good for their fans. In 9th place, I've gone for Solihull Moors, who are obviously my local National League team. I go and watch them every now and then. They're currently 6th. They're looking quite good. At the start of the season, they didn't actually get off to a great start, and I was looking at them thinking, oh God, it might be a battle for survival this year, but they put some really good form together, and that's why they're currently in the playoffs. I think over the course of the season, there's going to be some big clubs that are going to try and muscle their way in, and if Solihull could just hang in there, even to 7th place, that would be amazing, but I wonder if they'll just fall short this season. The next 4 clubs I've gone for are FC Halifax, Stockport County, Notts County and Bromley. Some big clubs here, starting with FC Halifax, who actually finished 10th last year, and if they could just sneak into the playoffs this year, then that would be sensational, just have that chance of getting promoted. I have gone for 8th, which is quite harsh from me. Let me know what you think, Halifax fans, but I look at their team and think it's actually quite good, so if they could just hang on in there, I think they've got the joint best defence in the league, so it's looking good for FC Halifax. Just sneaking into the playoffs this time round, I've gone for Stockport County, who did finish in the playoffs last year. I think they were 3rd last year, so just getting in there again would be fantastic for the Stockport fans. I watched them play away at Bolton last week in the FA Cup, and I thought their fans were fantastic. I know it's not much of a journey, but the way they filled at that away end and made so much noise, and then look at the team as well and the manager and think, Stockport are a club that really could get promoted this year, so I think they'll finish in the playoffs. In 6th place, I've gone for Notts County, who are currently 7th and did finish 5th last year, so I've kind of gone in the middle. I look at Notts County and I think there's so much quality in that team. Once again, a big fan base that should roll them over the line, and I think there'll be another season where they finish in the playoffs. But this time around though, can they go all the way and get promoted through the playoffs? I feel like they could. Just above them, I've gone for Bromley, who did finish 7th last year. And you look at Bromley and think they're consistently doing really well. They've got off to a good start so far this season. And yeah, they're just a solid team, Bromley. I feel like if they keep knocking on the door, a bit like Notts County, it'll be a matter of time before a couple of these clubs do get promoted. And Bromley could be playing Football League football very soon. In my top 4 then, I have gone for Wrexham, Boreham Wood, Grimsby Town and Chesterfield. Let's start with Wrexham, one of the big boys in this division. So far this season, they've been okay. Maybe not living up to the levels that some people expected so far this season. But you saw in midweek, this week just gone, they won 5-0 away at Aldershot, and I think they mean business this time round. It'll be fascinating to see if they can try and catch up with that top 3 and really battle for the top space this season, because I wonder if that slow start might cost them this season, because it might take them a few weeks and a few months to gel. But over the course of the season, I do think Wrexham will finish in the playoffs, and I'm going for 4th place. Any Wrexham fans watching, let me know what you think. In 3rd place, I've gone for Boreham Wood, who are currently top, and they've had a great start to the season so far. They did finish mid-table last year, so this is a massive improvement. I think it'd be fantastic to see a team like Boreham Wood get into the Football League, and maybe they can do it this year. If there's any Boreham Wood fans watching, do you reckon you could do it this year? In 2nd place are Grimsby Town, who are looking great so far this season. Their current form is win, 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 loss, loss. So if they just nip in the bud a couple of those defeats and just get a little bit more consistent, then they really could challenge for top of the table. I do think they will challenge this year, but I've gone for 2nd place for Grimsby Town, which still would be a sensational achievement. So then, winning the National League for me this year is going to be Chesterfield. To be honest, I look at the top end of this table and think there's a few teams that could win it, but I look at Chesterfield and I think back to what they nearly achieved last year when they finished 6th and they lost out in the playoffs to Notts County in that crazy 3-2 game at Meadow Lane, and I think this time around they've bounced back stronger. They've only lost 1 game so far this season, and I think it'd be great for their fans and the club if they could bounce back to the Football League. I'm saying Chesterfield are going to finish top. So then guys, that wraps up today's video. If you're a National League fan, let me know what you think down in the comments. Make sure you've dropped a like on this one, subscribed if you are new to the channel, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.